name to give to a little bird? Name it after a great big mountain. Well, there is a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, I got a telephone call to collect my baby from Warwickshire. He was finally ready for me to go and collect. Well, I couldn't go that day, I had to go the next day. But later on that day, at 3:30, I got a text message right in the middle of the demonstration. And ladies and gentlemen, I stopped the demonstration so that I could read my text message. How rude is that, eh? Not really. Ladies and gentlemen, at the time, my wife was nearing the summit of Ararat in Turkey, Mount Ararat. She'd set off at 3 o'clock in the morning from the high camp for the summit. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the text message just after I began the 3:30 demonstration. My wife had been missing for over 12 hours. I finally got the message to say that she was standing on the summit of Ararat at 16,854 feet high. She reached the summit of that mountain the same day I got the call to collect my little baby. What other name was I going to give him? Ararat! Where are you going? Bring it in! What happened? Ararat! What, did you get lost? That tree got in the way, didn't it? You poor little man. Nearly needed a compass to find your way home. Ladies and gentlemen, all of the birds that take part in these demonstrations, you know they all do it for one reason, don't you?
Food.
Eh? No, it's their job. It's what I pay them to do. I pay them to fly in front of you. Yeah? I want to see your faces. And haven't you lot gone quiet? Eh? Some of you are openly scowling at me. Let's be fair, ladies and gentlemen, to most of you, work is a dirty word. Well, it may not be as dirty as you think. I don't want to be a bird's master, and I don't want to be a bird's owner. I want to be a bird's employer. Why? Because no one can make you stay in your job, ladies and gentlemen. You can leave any time you like, just walk out the door. This is the choice that is given to our birds every day. All Ararat has to do is keep going in a straight line. You call that the countryside over there, don't you? He doesn't. He calls that self-employment. Now, you see, I don't want him to go self-employed. I'd like him to work for me. So, I have to constantly work at being a good employer. Don't ask him to work too hard. Pay him well. Oh, and there's one other thing. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the centre, we don't touch or stroke the birds. Why not? Oh, come on. That's obvious, isn't it? Got hands up, everyone who fancies their employer touching and stroking them. Because that's just wrong on every level, isn't it, eh? Downright degrading. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not about to start degrading any of the birds by patting them on the head and tickling them under the wings. What a horrible thing to do to your employee. Instead, I'm going to pay the bird a bonus. There's a big piece of food in here. It's his for free when he goes back to the van. He's going to sit there till the end and enjoy his bonus. Ladies and gentlemen, you say thank you to Ararat in your way. I'll do it in mine, and we'll fly the next bird.
It's going to land there, it's going to peck there and take off. Oh, yeah.
And then pinch mummy's eye. It's huge. It's a vulture. You've got bigger gloves now.
The red-footed falcon, ladies and gentlemen, is a very rare bird in this country.
Ellie over here.
These birds, well,
Ellie,
you
look.
won't find them at all in this country because they only come from Central and Southern Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Jack, the jackal buzzard. Like most of our birds, Jack is captive bred, hatched out of his egg in this country 13 years ago. Initially, Jack was sold to a friend of mine. Now, my friend over the years, he's had some amazing successes breeding birds of prey. 13 years ago, he decided he'd like to breed jackal buzzards. Now, you can't blame him. Beautiful looking bird. But there's a problem. There are very few jackal buzzards in this country. Probably less than a dozen of them in total. The species has always been male heavy. There aren't enough females to go around. Now you see, my friend didn't know that. So he went rushing into his little project, got himself a beautiful male bird, and you can see the problem, can't you? No female to be had. And try as you like, you're not going to breed from two males. He was stumped. For 3 years he searched, but finally he gave up all hope. Telephoned me one day, he said, "Eddie, I don't want Jack anymore. Come and take him away." I couldn't believe what I was hearing, ladies and gentlemen. I knew he loved this bird to pieces. I said, "Why?" Well, he said, "That's easy. For 3 years now, I've watched that poor bird flying up and down my big aviary. And every day, I catch him sitting on a branch somewhere, calling at the sky for a mate that I can't provide." He said, "Well, that's wrong. You come and take him away. Take him down to your centre and fly him free." He said, "You give him something in his life, won't you? Because for the last 3 years, all I've done is waste his life away." I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but with an offer like that, how was I going to say no? I collected Jack the next day, and a few weeks later, Jack flew free in the open sky for the first time in his life. And by God, he was useless. You see, people often think that because a bird has 2 wings, well, it's just automatically a master of flight. That's a silly idea, isn't it? That's a bit like saying, "Oh yes, human beings, they hatch out with 2 legs and then they can just walk." No, they can't. They jump up on their little legs and fall flat on their faces. I've seen them do it lots of times. You have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to fly. Birds, unfortunately, don't have the luxury of several weeks of learning how to fly. They have to do it 1 or 2 days.
She can't see them.
Are you going up that one now, are you? All right. Is that better up there? You sure? Ladies and gentlemen, when your children were younger, when they were learning to walk, you safeguarded them, didn't you? You put them in a playpen. You gave them blankets and cushions to fall on all day long. They could practice their walking technique and never come to any harm. But then one day, what did you do? You gave them freedom. Freedom of the living room. And what a dangerous place that was, eh? They fell down, skinned their elbows on the carpet, banged their head on a coffee table, they tripped over the step and fell out the front door. What a terrible place. And every time they fell, you all did the same thing, and you all used the same words. You all went running towards your children, shouting, "Are you okay? Have you hurt yourself?" They never did they? They stood up, dried their tears, and carried on learning how to walk. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack had lived in a playpen for 3 years. Now, okay, it was an aviary, but same idea. It was a safe environment. There was no chance of him having an accident. And then he came to live with me. And what did I do? I gave him freedom of the open sky. Oh, and there was an accident just waiting to happen. Jack had been with me for about 6 weeks. He was really filling me with confidence. day, I stepped out from the back of the van, and as I stepped out to face everyone, the wind hit me full in the face. It's coming up from the southwest, blowing a gale. Ladies and gentlemen, I was so full of confidence with my bird. I stepped forward with Jack with a big smile on my face, and I launched him into that wind. That didn't happen. There was nothing like that. No. As Jack left my glove that day, he lost all control of his flight. Wind grabbed hold of him, whipped him up in the air, tossed him about in the sky, and spat him out on the grass over there. Poor little man, he hit the ground like a crashing aeroplane, rolling over and over in the long grass. Yeah, and Eddie went running over there like any kind of panicking parent, shouting, "Jack, Jack, are you okay? Have you hurt yourself?" Didn't hurt himself at all. Like your children, ladies and gentlemen, he stood up, staggered back a step or two, shook his head, and he must have thought, "Crikey, better not do it like that next time." And you know what? He never ever has. From that day to this, Jack has never had another accident. These days, I thoroughly enjoy flying this bird. Doesn't matter how strong the wind, doesn't matter which direction. Ladies and gentlemen, this bird just comes out here and makes flying look good. Hey, Jack!
What's your head?
What is it we're coming out of that tree today? Is there something wrong with that tree or something? Hey? What's it going to come out of that tree today? Yeah? Okay, fair enough. Hey, Jack! Good man. You're a bit crackpot today, aren't you? That's a nice approach, lad. I like that. I know. I think you managed to drop it. Ladies and gentlemen, like all of the other birds, when Jack's done his bit, he goes back to the van. I get to say thank you to him properly from the bottom of my bag. Ladies and gentlemen, you say thank you your way, I'll do it mine. We'll fly the last bird.
I thought you was going to be a tiny one or ginormous. He's got huge wings. It's going to be ginormous bird. Look at a box or something.
Don't look. Bigger or smaller?
Feathers expand. Well, it is. It's either going to be smaller than the other one or bigger than Jack.
It's bigger.
You video. You video.
Just before we fly the last bird, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of boring warnings, I'm afraid. I do hope that you've been taking notice of the two very large signs in this arena. They're difficult to miss. No food at any time. And that means at any time. You can't even eat food in this field at 12 o'clock midnight. You know why? We've discovered, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, people come in here, they sit down, have something to eat. Invariably, they will drop something on the ground. A bread crust, an apple core, a few crisp crumbs. This next bird has the innate ability to find little tiny bits of leftovers. And what happens is, someone comes in here, they have a little snack, and they leave. Later on, in a demonstration, some poor unsuspecting person sits next to that tiny, microscopic piece of food. And a few minutes later, they end up with about 12 pounds of eagle in their lap. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not fair on the person that is on the receiving end. That is why no food must ever be consumed in this field. If you've got any food, hide it away. Tuck it in your bag. Sit on it if you have to. Just don't have it on display, because you will steal it away from you. Similarly, children's fluffy toy. Now, you know what's coming, don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, to you, it's a lovely fluffy toy. But to this next bird, it is a dead animal. And she will take it away from you, I promise. She won't turn the back. She'll take it up that tree and give it a frontal lobotomy. So once again, put them in your bag, stick them up your jumper, sit on them, just get rid of them. And finally, please make sure your children do not climb on the fence. Right, you, big girlie.
Oh, flipping hell. Bald eagle. Yeah. From North America. I think it's North America. Huh? It's in North America.
Nice big bird, isn't it?
It's on his leg. You're a big one. Bald eagle.
There we go, look at that.
Oh, flipping hell.
Wow, what a big bird.